Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Sunday, I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. Today we're building something a little bit different. We are building a beach house in Brindleton Bay on the 20 by 20 lot, which is, surprise surprise, by the beach. I cannot tell you the last time I built on this lot. It's been a really long time and I was feeling incredibly inspired to do a beach house. I was having a look through Pinterest this morning. I came across a reference image. I'll pop it up on screen for you now. Now, the reference images that I find, generally I just use the shape of them rather than the colour scheme, unless the colour scheme is something that really speaks to me. But with this reference image, as I'm sure you can see, it's definitely more the shape that I was going for rather than the colour scheme. I knew that I wanted it to be like a soft powder blue with white and then like a wicker soft brown roof. I feel like it's been a long weekend. I've done 2 videos this weekend and this actually wasn't supposed to be this weekend speed build. This was supposed to be next weekend speed build, but I've had a little bit of a change of plan on the channel, so I hope you don't mind having this one. It's summer. Let's get your Sims in a summery mood. This is a perfect house to have as like a rental house. If your Sims are lucky enough to have a house and then a rental house as well, I think this would be perfect. Or it could be the family home as well. It's very versatile, but we will talk a little bit more about that when we get onto the interior of the house. But the exterior of the house didn't come together as quickly as I had hoped. Unfortunately, I went through many different changes with the exterior, with window placement and then window overhangs, lights, you name it. Like the landscaping threw me off at one point and I was just like, I need to step away for just 1 minute. And so I did. I came back and I had a little bit more of a fresh mind and I ended up coming up with the design that you saw at the start of the video. So drop me a comment down below. What do you think of this one? Are beach houses your thing? Do you send your Sims to beach houses? I generally don't when I play, but that's maybe because I don't know, I don't feel like beach houses are necessarily very common in The Sims. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm just sort of pointing out my thought process on it. I just, yeah, I don't think they're very common. And like I said, seeing as how we are in summer, I thought a beach house would be appropriate. Speaking of summer, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I really don't. But does anyone else not like summer? I really don't like it. I don't like the longer days. I don't like how warm it is. I just don't like it. I am ready for autumn. And autumn and winter are my favourite times of year. If you know me, then you'll know that already. I love autumn and winter, specifically autumn. I was born on the 1st of November, so I was, you know, I'm an autumn baby, but maybe that has something to do with it, I don't know. But I just, yeah, I can't stand being hot on a night when I'm trying to sleep. There's nothing worse. I had a horrible night's sleep last night because I just could not get to sleep because of the heat. We have a fan on in the bedroom and I was still struggling last night. I'm sat in my office. I have to close the window because there's a little bit of noise outside. I have to turn the fan off that's on my desk because otherwise it'll just blow air into the microphone. So for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be a sweaty mess. So if at any point I seem a little bit like disoriented or agitated, it is simply because I am incredibly warm. Not that you needed to know that, I just thought I'd put a disclaimer out there. Anyway, as I was having a rant about summer and just being a complete buzzkill, we have started on the landscaping of this house. I was hoping this would come easier to me. Unfortunately, it didn't. I tried various different colour schemes and then it was starting to look a little bit too tropical. I wasn't necessarily wanting this house to look tropical. I was just wanting it to look like a house by the sea, like a beach house. And it started to look a little bit too tropical at some points. So I did sort of tone back some of the landscaping and the colours. So we ended up going just like green, white and this soft purple, which I think looks fantastic with the blue. Fun fact, the house that's going to be released next weekend, I also do pops of purple and like a blue base game paneling. So it's funny how I'll go through like these different colour schemes and and it's really funny because I'll go through different phases of loving different color schemes. I know for a while I was into like these really rich browns with like burnt orange, and then I went like soft white and pink, and then now I'm in like this blue purpley phase. It's really weird, but I guess that's just me. Anyway, you can see that the house has taken shape. This is pretty much what you are going to be getting when you download this house, if you choose to download this house. The only thing I do change off camera is I change the windows on the left at the front here, because they stumped me for the longest time and I didn't really feel the need to include them in the footage, because I was really struggling, and I was like, nobody wants to sit here and watch me struggle with some windows. I also put the windows on the back of the house off camera as well, because again, I talk about this on my next speed build, but I have started to do houses that are symmetrical in that the front and the back are pretty much identical. So if I've done it at the front, is there a need to show the back if it's exactly the same? I would suggest not, just to keep the footage trim and nice. Please correct me. Where did that come from? Please correct me if I'm wrong. If you want to see the entire footage, please let me know. But literally the back is exactly the same as the front, so you have not missed out on anything. And you'll see here, it's exactly the same. The only thing I do show is me landscaping the back of the property, because the landscaping was slightly different because there's slightly more room at the back. I do end up putting a bench just on the left here so that your Sims can sort of sit there and just take in that beautiful sea view that is at the back of this house. I'm obsessed with this lot, and it's really funny that I don't build here very often, but I feel like this lot, you have to build a certain type of house for this lot, because it's so niche, I would say. It either has to be a beach house or it has to be a beach house. I don't think it can be just like a regular house because it is so close to the beach. I don't know, I'm probably overthinking it. Anyway, this is the inside. As you can see, it's actually quite big. The floor plan is very basic, very simple, very gameplay friendly. There's plenty of room for your Sims in here. I don't know if I've mentioned it, I don't think I have, but this house can sleep up to 5 Sims and then 1 pet, whether that's a dog or a cat. Although now that I've said it out loud, I know I've put a dog bed in the living room and then I haven't put like a bowl in the kitchen. Why am I like this? So if you download this house and you decide to move a dog in here, then you will need to place a pet bowl somewhere, whether it's in the living room, outside, or in the kitchen. Wherever you want, you'll just need to place it. Disclaimer, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. At the end, I'll be honest, I was rushing to get this finished because I've been sat in this office nearly all day, and it's currently 5 p.m. on Sunday evening, and I'm a bit fed up now. I'm gonna be completely honest. Just because of the heat, it's nothing to do with anything else. I'm just really warm. Anyway, this is the living room. I really like how this room turned out. This room and the kitchen are my particular favorites in this house. Please let me know what your thoughts are on it. I went through a few different options here with rugs and coffee tables, etc., because I was trying out this nautical theme, but I didn't want it to be like overly nautical. I didn't want it to be sickly or anything like that. I wanted it to still be a house with personality, that a family either, as I said, rents it, you know, twice a year. They bring the kids down for the summer holidays and they spend a couple of weeks here. Or, as I said, it can be a family house as well. It's catered for pretty much everything. So that's the beauty of this house. The living room is a really good size. I didn't really know what to do with this space here, so I just throw a couple of bookshelves down with a reading chair and a light and a little footstool from the Cats and Dogs pack. I use a lot of items from the Cats and Dogs pack because they do have a very homey and nautical theme to them, some of them, so I thought this kind of works perfectly for this house. It really does. So I just do a little bit of rejigging here. I do try and flip things around, thinking that maybe I haven't... See, I tried to put a pet bowl down there and I just didn't keep it. I don't know what my mind is thinking sometimes. Anyway, I do a little bit of rejigging here just to see if I can like utilize the space a little bit better, and then I very quickly revert back to the original item placement because I figured that it just worked a lot better. I don't know why I bothered mentioning it. I don't know, it's just worth mentioning, in my opinion. And then we do move on to the kitchen. As you can see, the kitchen dining room is huge. This room is absolutely massive. I could have brought this in 2 tiles on the right hand side and it would have still been big. But again, it's fantastic for gameplay. It's fantastic if you sims like to entertain. Bearing in mind, again, they are by the beach. Maybe they like to host barbecues here. Maybe they come down here to have parties. It could even be like a summer house for students to come to on their sort of school holidays. Whatever you want to do, this house is actually pretty versatile. There are a couple of kids' rooms upstairs that you might need to change if you do decide that this is more of like a party house, or like a house for a couple of sims to maybe enjoy their honeymoon or whatever. You might have to make some adjustments, but it wouldn't take too much at all. I love the kitchen. I really do like this kitchen. Initially, at this point, I was like, this is a massive room. Like, this is too big. Because the living room, yeah, it's a good size, but it's actually quite small compared. So I was thinking, it doesn't really make much sense. Like, why would it be so big? But this is what I was thinking. Maybe the house has undergone some sort of renovation in the last few years, and they've extended the right-hand side out just a little bit, and they've made this beautiful kitchen dining space. Although it's still traditional, it's slightly more modern than the rest of the house, I would say. So that does kind of fit in with that storyline. I was trying to come up with this, like, again, nautical, family-friendly, beachy, seaside theme for the kitchen. I don't know if I achieved that with this, in all honesty. It's a really nice kitchen. I really like it, actually. I think it's... When I was taking the screenshots, it looked beautiful. I was like, oh, this is actually quite nice. Whether it's in keeping with the rest of the house, I don't know. That's just me being completely honest. And then there's one of the kids' rooms upstairs. I was kind of over it at that point, so it's definitely not my best work, but we will talk a little bit more about that when we get onto the upstairs. So this is the dining room table. Again, perfect if your sims are, if there's like a massive family that come and stay here, or if they are looking to host a couple of parties and things like that, like whatever you want to do, really. So very versatile in that respect as well. I think it's a really nice space, and with these windows being open on the right hand side here, the sea air that would be wafting through this kitchen, I can just imagine it. Me not being a summery person, I can imagine that would be actually quite nice. If you're sort of sat at the dining room table eating your breakfast or doing whatever, I think that would be, I don't think that would be bad, really, would it? It sounds pretty nice to me. And then with these sort of awkward spaces here, I do chuck down a couple of chairs. I believe these are from Discover University. I thought they worked really well with the theme of the house, and I do put another one on the other side off camera because it was looking a little bit asymmetrical, and not in a good way. It was just looking a little bit uneven and odd, so I do put another one down on the other side, as I said, off camera. Then I just end up popping back to the kitchen and adding a little bit of clutter and just making sure that everything is as I want it to be. I think on the island I end up just throwing down like a teapot and some cups, and then also a lantern from the Cats and Dogs pack, because this vase in the middle, it just wasn't working for me. It didn't look right. Essentially, I was probably overthinking it, as I usually do, but I decided to remove that and add a lantern and like a little tea set instead, as I was saying. And then here we are, I'm just trying to experiment with different things here, and I very quickly dismiss a lot of the items because I definitely had a certain look in mind for this house, and I was dead set on, this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like. And I think sometimes that hinders me in the long run, because I'll have this sort of theme in my head, and if I can't replicate that, or if I can't somehow get that done, I'll be like, that's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's not going to work. And I'm very dismissive of a lot of different objects, so that's definitely what I did here. I also pulled out some of these paintings from the Cats and Dogs. I believe they're from the debug menu because you can't copy them. They appear as feathers in the catalogue, and they're like little pictures of birds. I thought it was really nice for this house, again bringing sort of in like the nature sort of theme, because again, you're by the beach. This is the downstairs bathroom. It is a full bathroom, so there is a bath with a shower here. There's a kitchen. There's a toilet and a sink as well. It's a really good size. It was important for me to get the 3 bathrooms and the 3 bedrooms in this house. There is an ensuite upstairs along with a main bathroom as well, so all the Sims will have access to their own bathrooms if and when they need to, which is really important for gameplay. And if you are living here as a family home, if you're trying to get the kids sorted for school, there's nothing worse than a bathroom being occupied and then they can't get in, and then there's access issues and all that. So anyway, as I've been having a ramble, we have already started on the downstairs office. So this house does have a downstairs office. You could turn this into a 4th bedroom if you wanted to. Very versatile in that respect. You could turn it into a home gym, you could turn it into a second living room, whatever you want to do, it's here. I will let you sort of change anything as you see fit, but I turned it into a downstairs office. It's something that I've been doing quite frequently with my houses recently. I've been either adding like a downstairs bedroom, depending on the size of the house. Sometimes if I'm doing these massive houses, then I'll add like a bathroom with like its own bedroom on the ground floor along with a downstairs office and things like that. Anyway, this is the upstairs. This is where the 3 bedrooms and then the 2 further bathrooms are. The floor plan caused me a little bit of a headache just to start off with, and then I think I cracked it because the house is a little bit of an odd shape. Again, I'm just trying to make the best of the floor plan here. It's probably not the best it could be, but we still managed to fit the 3 bedrooms up here. So in my head, that's a win. So I had an archway here, and then that extends onto the 2 kids' bedrooms, and then we do work on the master bedroom. Now, as you can see, I have furnished the hallway and then the 2 bathrooms off camera. The 2 bathrooms are pretty much the same as the one downstairs. I didn't feel the need to add that into the footage, so I hope you don't mind. This is the master bedroom, as I was saying. It's small. It is small. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This is a small room, but it's functional. It has everything that your Sims need. And again, going with this really family-friendly nautical theme, pulling out a lot of items from the cats and dogs pack. Again, we are building in Brindleton Bay, which is the world that's shipped with the cats and dogs pack, so I feel like most of the items are kind of made for this style of house. And then I do also use some items from cottage living as well, like the tea set and then like the little basket with the blankets and the cushions in as well. I think that worked really well in the living room. And then I also ended up using some logs from the werewolves pack by the fire, because I was like, that's kind of perfect. If your Sims want to come here for winter, that fire is going to need to be on. Anyway, I've been having another ramble and we've started on the first child's room. This stumped me for a little bit because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with the colour scheme, and then I figured I have not done a green room for a while, so why don't we do like a green bedroom? So I had a lot of fun with this. I've tried to tone back with my kids' room decor very recently. It's something that I've been talking about in my previous builds, and I'm hoping that you guys have picked up on that. And by tone back, I don't mean in a bad way. It's just that I think sometimes I just do too much, and by that I mean I just place items for the sake of it, and it's not necessarily the most gameplay friendly. So I've definitely been trying to hang back on the decor whilst still keeping my houses looking lived in and cluttered and just like normal, you know, because we don't all live in show houses. Our houses are where we live, so there is going to be a little bit of mess here and there, especially in kids' rooms. So it's really important for me to clutter them anyway, but you'll have to let me know what your thoughts are on that. So this bedroom did not take me long at all. Once I got with the groove, I was like, this is actually quite easy, and I started to filter the items by colour. So I was pulling out a lot of green items, a lot of brown items. It's very woodlandy in here, which would lead me to believe that the family that own this house either live here or they use it as a rental house a couple of times a year in the summer. So that's probably the storyline that I'm going to be going with for this house, but you can turn this into whatever you like. So now we do move on to the final bedroom. Now this has bunk beds, so this is where the 5 Sims come in, and it's not my best work. I'm just going to put that out there. Disclaimer, this is not my best work. I was itching to get out of the office at this point, go and stretch my legs, put some cold water on my face and drink a gallon of ice cold water. The heat, it's getting to me. I don't know if you can tell. Of course you can, because I've just been moaning about it throughout the entire video. Not much going on in this room, to be completely honest. It's actually quite bland, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just It's definitely not as colourful as the other room or some of my other kids' rooms, but I hope you guys don't mind. But we have come to the end of the video. You can breathe a sigh of relief. But the good news is that you can get this house from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!